lighten up. And one other thing that could be hard, it could be raining so hard within this area that the radar just might not be able to see the actual winds that are changing direction there. So we could be seeing maybe some little of a rotation. That way, you do want to take your tornado safety precautions here at this time, especially if you are in the southern part of Rusk County near Laneville, back toward Glen Fawn, north of the Valley Grove area. However, Valley Grove, I would still say you need to take your safety spot. Here's Sulphur Springs. This is in the Rusk County part of Sulphur Springs here. And there you can know that we do have a little bit more of that precipitation that is moving on through. I'll widen out the view just a bit more. Let me turn back on the radar for you here at this moment.
It's currently raining outside.
We have some very heavy
flooding.
rain that's continuing to move on through. It's just now moving in to the northwestern part of Nacogdoches County here at this time, and it's going to continue to slowly move off to the east. We have some additional concerns about mostly in the form of some heavy rain. Let me turn back on the weather alerts that we're seeing here that are in effect here for a few locations. Those are mainly, looks like, over parts of Gregg County, going back into Marion and the Cass County and Harrison County and Upshur County. Those flash flood warnings do continue throughout the evening hours, but here are the two main thunderstorm warnings and tornado warnings that we are watching for you here at this moment. So at 8:15 we had one warning expire, so that was the break-filled warning back toward the eastern part, the southeastern part of Rusk County or the Panola County line. That warning is now expired.
And we still have the one warning till 8:30 p.m. for that's the box
yes,
slightly to the south.
That's correct. Yes, that's correct. So here's the warning that still continues, the tornado warning that continues from near Anadarko back toward Laneville. So where we have some rotation here within this storm, and it does to watch very closely as the rotation, even though it's become a little bit more up here in just a moment. Have we had any reports on this particular storm?
No new reports. Other than probably the report that came in from the Office of Emergency Management of that possible tornado sighting about 15-20 minutes ago.
Okay, yeah,
but no, nothing new. But definitely, folks in Nacogdoches County need to be watching.
Sure, Eric, go ahead.
Marcus, we're waiting for an update in Kilgore. Is there? Can we get an update on Kilgore? Apparently, I guess one of our maps was covered.
Lots of heavy rain in Kilgore, undoubtedly, and flooding going on in Gregg County. Flash flood warning there.
Absolutely. So there's heavy rain that's moving through a good part of Gregg County here at this time. Training continuing. I've heard reports of several road closures. Haven't been able to check those just yet, but we've had reports of road closures there in Gregg. Just a complete mess and a very wet evening with rain showers in the eastern and southeastern part of East Texas for us there at this moment. But here's the band of more heavier rain and also that threat for an isolated tornado or two that can occur. And this is the storm that we're watching for very closely that is near Anadarko, Valley Grove, and also near the Laneville area. And again, we're not seeing a whole lot in the terms of velocity right now. As a matter of fact, really not finding much of the reds and greens here close together, and that certainly is some pretty good news. Maybe some broad rotation that could be in there. Let me turn on some additional weather products that we have here to ensure that we are watching things here very closely. But what we're noticing is that not finding really much in the way. Marker here, we'll check that out. Looks to be very, very small in nature, but this storm is going to be approaching near Mount Enterprise as we get toward about the next, say, 20 minutes or so at about 8:43. But circulation does not look to be all that great here at this time. That's great news. However, the warning does still continue until 8:34 this area.
And that's a good point, Marcus, about Mount Enterprise, because if you go back to the reflectivity there, you can see too that is where that notch is approaching. So in Mount Enterprise, even though we're not seeing a definite sign of a tornado right now, certainly there can be some pretty strong winds heading into Mount Enterprise as this cluster of storms moves overhead.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is an area that has been untapped in terms of precipitation. You have a southeast wind that is starting to move up into this, and it only takes just a little bit of that southeast wind to create a little notch, and that could create some low low-level rotation. So, yeah, we're still going to watch it very closely, even after the warning does expire, if there's no warning reissued as this storm does approach Mount Enterprise. At the very least,
take shelter.
Maybe some winds that could reach about 50 or 60 miles an hour, and the possibility of some small hail. And it wouldn't surprise me if we have small hail also occurring from near Laneville and going back toward the Oak Flat area here at this moment. There you can note the West County area of the city of Sulphur Springs, not the Hopkins County vicinity there. There's the rain that continues to move off to the east. We haven't shown you lightning in about a couple of minutes, so let me add that back on. And you can note that where we still have some moderate, some decent lightning strikes, I should say, starting to pick up just a bit more. You can note the lightning strikes if you're in Mount Enterprise looking off to the west and northwest. Yeah, those lightning strikes are starting to pick up for you as this storm is quickly approaching. I'd probably say no more than about 10 minutes or so, and you'll start to see that rain begin to knock on your doorstep, perhaps even a little bit more, and starting to pick up for us too here at this moment. There's the back to now east of Anadarko and Freedingtown. Let me zoom in a little bit closer here. If we are going to see any type of rotation that perhaps could
anybody living in these areas take shelter.
Some of these city streets on where it would be. Have a little bit of weak rotation here, just not all that impressive. I'll zoom in a little bit closer. Here's Oak Flat, so we have County Road 20.
Apparently.
Scott, go ahead.
No.
Oh, okay.
You've been talking for about an hour straight. So
thank you.
Is that where was the confirmed tornado at?
We had the confirmed tornado. That was in Reclaw where we had power flashes.
Okay.
Power flashes. That was probably about...
I'm safe where I'm at.
45 minutes.
Yeah, even longer than that probably, but yeah, there have been no management, and that was, I believe, near the Laneville-Minden area, the last report of a possible sighting.
Okay, sounds good. We just got a report from our newsroom. 1,300 people without power in the Rusk area at this time because of the heavy thunderstorm that came through.
And that could have been some of the power flashes if there was a tornado there. And the Weather Service has yet to confirm that, but there were power flashes in that area, especially around Reclaw. So I bet a lot of those power outages that were just talked about were in that Reclaw area of Cherokee County.
That's correct. Okay, let me talk about this just a little bit more. Let me turn off the lightning flashes here for a brief moment, where we have the radar indicated rotation that continues. This warning just for another 8 minutes.
And good news, Marcus, the National Weather Service entry report says the tornado warning will expire at 8:30, so apparently they're not planning on reissuing it.
That's good news. That is good news. They're not seeing much in the way of rotation, neither here at this moment. So areas from near Oak Flat to Laneyville, that would still be in your chin. It's starting to weaken just a tad. That is really great news, and we're thankful to be able to hear that, but you still have very heavy rain and lightning, so it's just good to
huge shout out to Calvin Henderson
for the next little bit until this more heavier band of precipitation does finally begin to pass through for us here at this moment. Let me go back to look at the reflectivity and on the East Texas Storm Team radar. This is what we're noticing for us here at this moment. The very heavy rain continuing.
Okay, guys, hope you enjoy.
Back toward Oak Flats and going to continue to move off to the east and to the southeast. So places like Mount Enterprise, Minden, you already have